The scene. It's February 2026. And the location isn't, the red carpets of Los Angeles or the Fashion Week runways of Paris. We are in Wooster, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
The cameras are flashing, the crowds are freezing, and the epicenter is this renovated schoolhouse on Walnut Street. I said it couldn't happen in the heartland. But Ohio's Art Center just went nuclear.
It really is a fascinating collision of worlds. Welcome to the StarScope Report. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jordan. And usually we are here uncovering Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
But today we are pivoting big time.
Well,
We are leaving the Sunset Strip and heading straight to the Buckeye State to investigate a blockbuster residency that is shaking up the classical music scene like a tabloid scandal.
Exactly. We are doing a deep dive into the Escher invasion. And let me tell you, if you think classical music is just polite applause and maybe a few naps in the back row, you are looking at the wrong venue entirely.
Oh, completely. We are talking about the Wayne Center for the Arts in Wooster, Ohio.
The WCA. And before we get into the whole invasion part, we kind of have to set the stage, the battlefield, if you will.
Yes, context is key here. The Wayne Center for the Arts, it isn't just a building, it's a piece of local history. It was established way back in 1973, originally on the College of Wooster campus.
Right. But the real shift, the moment it became this landmark, was in 1983.
That's it. That's when they moved into the renovated Walnut Street School.
And we have to give credit where it's due. This move was largely made possible by the Rubbermaid Foundation.
Which is a detail I just love. You have this massive industrial entity, Rubbermaid, famous for utility, for storage, for practical things.
Yeah, Tupperware.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And they are investing heavily in the abstract beauty of the arts. It sets the stage for everything we are going to discuss today. That intersection of industry and culture.
It's a solid foundation. But let's fast forward to right now, February 2026. The WCA is hosting this winter residency that feels less like a traditional masterclass and, more like a hostile takeover of talent.
Hostile might be a little strong, but aggressive is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the programming is incredibly ambitious. The talent they've brought in is the Escher String Quartet.
And let's unpack the credentials here, because this isn't a local garage band. These guys are basically the Oscar winners of the string world.
They really are.
They are former BBC New Generation artists. They received the Avery Fisher Career Grant.
And just to clarify for you, the Avery Fisher Grant isn't something you just apply for. It's prestigious. It signals that the classical music establishment believes you are the future of the genre.
They're the next big thing, and they are seasoned artists at the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. That is the big leagues.
Absolutely. So you have Lincoln Center royalty descending on a schoolhouse in Ohio.
The group itself is Adam Barnett-Hart on violin, Brendan Speltz on violin, Pierre Lapointe on viola, and Brooke Speltz on cello.
Formed back in 2005 in New York.
I have to pause on the Speltz brothers dynamic. Brendan and Brooke, are we looking at the oasis of the string world here?
Hopefully with less fighting.
And more harmonizing, right. But that brotherly energy, it brings a certain intensity.
Well, in chamber music, that sibling dynamic is actually a massive strategic advantage. A string quartet relies almost entirely on nonverbal communication.
You have to breathe together.
You have to breathe together. You have to anticipate the micro movements of the person next to you. Siblings often have that intuition just built in. It usually translates to a very tight, very intuitive performance style.
And they're going to need that intuition because this residency schedule is intense. It's just from Friday, February 20th to Sunday, February 22nd. It is a sprint.
It is so physically demanding. You're talking about 3 days of high-level performance with very different requirements for each show.
Okay, let's break it down like we're tracking a festival lineup. Friday night, February 20th. 7:30 p.m. They are at the Galt Recital Hall, but they are not alone. They are collaborating with the Wooster Symphony Orchestra.
And this is a significant collaboration. They're performing Edward Elgar's Introduction and Allegro for strings. Now, this isn't just play along with the band. Elgar wrote this piece specifically to exploit the texture difference between a solo quartet and a full-string orchestra.
So it's like a conversation between the small group and the big group.
Exactly. It's a concept called concerto grosso. You have the quartet, the soloists, playing against the tutti, which is the full orchestra. It's dramatic, it's lush, and it requires the quartet to have enough power to stand out against this wall of sound.
And that's just the opener. Saturday, February 21st, 1700 p.m. This is the main event. The Wayne Center presents recital. But here is the kicker.
Oh, this is the best part.
It's in the WCA's auditorium, which only seats about 100 people.
And that is where the magic happens.
Right.
I mean, if you're used to seeing concerts in a stadium or a huge hall, you are used to a certain acoustic distance.
Yeah.
But chamber music was designed for
Well,
chambers.
rooms.
When you put the Escher Quartet in a 100-seat hall, the audience can hear the resin on the bows. They can hear the musicians breathing.
So it's intimate, but it's also high pressure. There's just nowhere to hide.
Precisely. It changes the energy in the room completely.
Then Sunday the 22nd, they are back for a matinee encore with the symphony. It is an endurance run. 3 days, 2 venues, a massive repertoire.
Yep.
Speaking of repertoire, let's look at this set list for the Saturday recital. They are dropping some serious tracks.
They certainly are. They've programmed Mozart's String Quartet in D major, which is known as the Prussian.
Written for a king.
Literally, King Friedrich Wilhelm II of Prussia.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the why behind that choice. The king was an amateur cellist.
Ah, so he wanted to be the star.
Exactly. In most quartets of that era,
Yep.
the first violin gets all the glory, the melody, the high notes. The cello is usually just doing the rhythmic grunt work in the basement.
Yeah.
But because Mozart was trying to flatter the king, he wrote these soaring, beautiful, melodic lines for the cello.
So it's a chance for Brooks Belts to really shine.
It completely shifts the center of gravity of the group as a much more balanced, democratic sound.
We love a cello spotlight. What else is on the menu?
They're also doing Dvořák's String Quartet No. 13. Now, context is everything here. Dvořák wrote this immediately after he returned home to Bohemia from his time in America.
The New World Symphony era.
Right.
Huh.
He'd have been exploring American folk sounds, but this quartet, this is his homecoming. It's his big I'm back statement. It's full of unchecked joy, but it's also technically very, very demanding. It's a huge emotional journey.
And then the twist. They are not just playing the old hits. They have a new contemporary work by Chris Rogerson.
Born in 1988. This is crucial. A lot of people treat classical music like it's a museum exhibit. You know, look at the pretty things from 200 years ago.
Right.
But by including Rogerson, a piece co-commissioned by the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center, the Escher Quartet is saying this is a living art form.
It contributes to the living history of the genre. And the name Escher, it fits the philosophy, doesn't it? Like M.C. Escher, the graphic artist.
It's a perfect metaphor. M.C. Escher's work is all about individual parts. Birds, fish, stairs, all interlocking to create an impossible whole.
And that's the goal of a string quartet.
Totally. 4 individual voices, 4 egos, creating one unified organism.
It's high art, high concept, high execution. But if you think this is just about violin bows and fancy suits, wait until you hear how they get around town. We've got the rider details coming up, and let's just say it involves sliding doors and cup holders.
It's a detail that really grounds this whole story in reality.
Coming up, we expose the shocking truth about the Honda Odyssey files. Yes, you heard me. Minivans are the new limos. You do not want to miss this.
It completely changes the image of the touring musician.
Okay, we are back. And before we get to the minivan, we have to address a major controversy. We're calling this the Battle of the Waynes.
And this is actually a serious logistical issue. So if you are a listener planning to attend, pay attention. There are 3 Waynes in the mix here. And if you trust your GPS blindly, you're going to end up at the wrong event entirely.
We're playing investigative journalist here. So, Suspect A, Wayne Art Center in Wayne, Pennsylvania. Now, they are hosting a plein air festival.
Which is lovely outdoor painting.
Oh, absolutely. 32 artists competing for $25,000 in cash. It's like Survivor for painters.
You've been voted off the easel.
Exactly. But that is in May, and it's in Pennsylvania. If you go there in February looking for a string quartet, you're going to be very cold and very disappointed.
Then you have Suspect B, the She Center in Wayne, New Jersey.
Now, this is tricky. They have a show on February 21st, the exact same night as the Escher Quartet in Ohio. But who are they hosting?
Ooh.
The Drifters.
One of the Boardwalk Drifters, no way.
The very same. So you have a choice. Do you want Save the Last Dance for Me in Jersey, or do you want Dvořák in Ohio?
Both are classics, but very different vibes.
Exactly. So the hero of our story is the Wayne Center for the Arts in Wooster, Ohio. Check your GPS, folks. Don't end up watching paint dry in PA if you want the Mozart experience.
It really underscores the importance of regional identity. This isn't just some center. This is Worcester's specific cultural hub.
And every hub needs a handler. The man behind the curtain for this Ohio operation is Jared Hartzler.
Right. He's the vice president of ESQYRE, which is the nonprofit partner making this residency possible. He's also a board leader at the WCA.
And he spilled the tea on the glamour of the classical music lifestyle. You picture these Lincoln Center artists getting picked up in black SUVs, maybe a police escort. What does Hartzler admit to?
He admits to loading them into a Honda Odyssey.
A Honda Odyssey, the ultimate soccer mom chariot.
It's fantastic. He talks about driving them from colleges to elementary schools, just piling into the minivan.
It completely breaks that ivory tower illusion. World-class artists probably fighting over who gets the O chord in a minivan. But that is the point, isn't it?
It is. And honestly, this is the reality for 99% of classical musicians, even the famous ones. The mission isn't just to parachute in, play a concert, and leave.
It's a residency.
It's a residency.
Yeah.
They're visiting schools. Ashland City schools were mentioned specifically. It's about democratizing elite art.
And speaking of democratizing, there is a free ticket scandal that I can actually get behind.
Calling it a scandal is a bit of a stretch. It's a wonderful policy.
Okay, fine. It's a free ticket initiative, but here is the scoop. All band and orchestra students in Wayne County get free tickets to these performances.
That is huge.
That is the best guest list policy in Hollywood. You usually have to know a guy who knows a guy to get on the list here. You just have to play the clarinet in 7th grade.
It removes the financial barrier.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about why that matters. The biggest threat to classical music isn't pop music. It's the aging audience.
Right.
For a young student to see that level of mastery up close, for free, that changes lives. That creates the next generation of musicians and, just as importantly, the next generation of ticket buyers.
It's brilliant strategy disguised as charity. So we've covered the music, the mix-ups, and the minivan. But there is something else happening at this art center. There is a construction site out back, and rumor has it there is something called a Fab Lab involved.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's very real.
Stay tuned. We're going to talk about a harmony garden and why this art center is literally building a factory for creativity. You won't believe what they are welding back there.
It's a physical transformation that matches the artistic one.
But first, if you are loving uncovering the hidden gems of the entertainment world, whether it's Hollywood drama or Wooster Wonders, smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
We find the drama so you don't have to.
And we really appreciate you listening.
Okay, let's unpack the fallout. Because the Wayne Center for the Arts isn't just hosting concerts, they are physically expanding. We're calling this headline, The Aftermath. A $2.5 million facelift.
That is a significant investment for a community arts center. They have already raised over $1.5 million of that $2.5 million goal. And the project is fascinating because it redefines what an arts center actually does. It includes an arts park and this Fab Lab you mentioned.
I'm obsessed with the name Fab Lab. It sounds like where superheroes get their suits made. But what is it, really?
It's short for Fabrication Laboratory. So it's a space for industrial arts. We're talking metalworking, welding, woodworking, glass fusing.
See, that is the plot twist. You usually associate an art center with, what, painting classes, maybe ballet? But welding, that is heavy metal.
It expands the definition of art. And think about where we are, Ohio. This is the heart of American manufacturing. By incorporating industrial arts, the WCA is acknowledging the heritage of the region.
That's a great point.
They are saying welding isn't just manufacturing, it's a creative act.
It bridges the gap between the blue-collar history and the fine arts future. And visually, it's going to be stunning. The plans show these overhead doors that open right up onto a new outdoor amphitheater.
So you create this indoor-outdoor flow. In theory, you could be sitting in the amphitheater watching a rehearsal, while 20 feet away, someone is striking an arc in the welding shop.
It's a sensory collision. And then there is the Harmony Garden. That sounds like a place where you go to find your zen, but it's actually a lot louder than that.
It's designed to be interactive. It's the centerpiece of the new park. They are installing these Rhapsody outdoor musical instruments.
Like what?
Giant chimes, bells, drums, instruments that are durable enough to be outside in the snow, but high quality enough to make real music.
And anyone can play them.
Anyone. It's fully accessible. So you have native wildflowers, beautiful landscaping, and then these drums and chimes. It breaks down that look but don't touch barrier that you often find in the arts.
It invites you to participate.
It invites the community to physically participate in the sound.
It ties back to their strategic pillars. This isn't just about fun. It's about economic development. They are trying to create a downtown Wooster arts district.
Right. You see this in other cities. And you see it with the Butterfly Alley project Main Street Wooster did. When you create a density of cultural attractions, you create a destination.
People come for the Escher Quartet, but they stay for dinner, they buy a coffee, they stay in a hotel.
Exactly. The arts aren't just a charity case, they are an economic engine. They transform the landscape of the city.
So, bringing it all back to the title of our deep dive, why did we say the Art Center went nuclear?
It's about critical mass. I mean, think about that specific Saturday, February 21st. You have the Escher String Quartet, world-famous musicians performing. You have the Wooster Symphony Orchestra involved. You have this massive construction project for the Fab Lab and Arts Park underway. You have students flooding in with free tickets.
It is a nexus of activity.
It really is. And it's not even just the Escher Quartet that day. There is a chamber music marathon happening.
Yeah.
At 4 p.m. that same afternoon at the Scheid Music Center, pianist Joyce Yu and violinist Min-Shi Kim are playing a recital.
So you could literally go from a violin recital at 4:00 p.m. to the Escher recital at 7:00 p.m. Wooster is basically turning into the Coachella of classical music for one weekend.
Without the mud, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yes, the energy is explosive. That is why it's nuclear. It's a chain reaction of culture. One event feeds into another, which feeds into the economy, which feeds into the students.
It's incredible. You know, we started this thinking about Hollywood and the Sunset Strip, but there is something really cinematic about this.
There is. If we go back to that Escherian philosophy, the idea of individual parts working together to form an impossible whole, that is what is happening in Wooster.
You have the quartet, the students, the welders, the symphony, the minivan driver.
All these disparate parts interlocking to create this vibrant cultural moment.
It makes you wonder, is Wooster, Ohio, the new cultural capital of the world? I mean,
Yeah.
The Drifters are in Jersey, the Painters are in PA, but the revolution seems to be in Ohio.
It's certainly where the energy is right now. It challenges our assumptions about where high art lives. It doesn't just live in Lincoln Center. It lives in a renovated schoolhouse on Walnut Street.
And in Honda Odyssey.
And in the sparks of a welding torch.
I love it. Well, that's the report from the Heartland. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.